Not expecting to get a whole lot of people here, given that it's a Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning or 10:30 or something like that. So, nevertheless, here we are. So finally, the reason why I'm live is I finally got the house 90% to myself, and I can talk and comment and not have to keep my voice down or whatever the case may be, or interrupt anything. So it's been an interesting and odd time for the last few months here with well, I now have three boys at home, but one of them in particular, he's about to turn 22, so I guess he's not a boy, but he is living here with us in my game room, which was not part of the plan originally. And so we're making adjustments for that. Now we're planning on moving him at some point out into the, hey there, Wargamer XYZ, how you doing? I've got a few people joining in. Good to see you guys. Say hi, please. It'd be nice. Keep me company. Mo, what's up, dog? And so anyway, so we're going through the. If you've followed the channel for a while, you know that A, I'm leaving Austin and moving to another town, and B, we're trying to close in a barn. Fabrizio, good to see you. And so we're closing in a barn to live in while we build a house, and we're designing a house, and we're doing all sorts of nonsense. And the latest iteration is that we're probably buying a small mobile home to put my son in for a period of time, and then maybe rent that out later, stick it on the corner of the property, and kind of go from there. So there's been a little tension and a little stress in the household, and it's been interesting. Now, but the challenge for me has been that the frustration here is that I'm having a hard time gathering either or keeping space to play, number one. And this is a total first world problem, right? I cannot complain at all. Life is good, but I'm having trouble getting the space to play, having the ability to play without the very loud. Have you seen those keyboards that make the super loud clicky noises? My kids all love those, and they all have them. So when that's going on, and they're talking to their friends, playing GTA, going, rob that guy, do this, do that, shoot him, sell those drugs. It's a little difficult to concentrate on GOS or larger games or multi-map games. And as Fabrizio will know, because we've been private messaging a lot, I had a lot of challenges with Sacred Oil, and most of the time, the rules were very clear and well laid out, and I was unable to understand them. And so I have surrendered the desire to play larger, more complex games for the time being until we can get into Tony. How are you, man? Until we can get, I can get either A, some space, or B, some further quiet time. And so the reason for the chat today is that I wanted to sort of leave this here with you. I've got a stack of games here, magazine games that I've owned for a while, some of which I've played, some which I haven't. And my intention is to play as many smaller one-map games as I can over the next few months, up until about May timeframe, which is when I think I'll be moving into the barn. And then at that point, I would probably be down to zero gaming space for the time being, just because we'll see what happens when we move in. Excuse me. So what I want to do is run through these. If you see anything you like and you're interested in me playing it, I'll prioritize that over, say, something that I may or might not like, right? So the first one, and I can't show it to you because it's already set up, is WTF 1940, the very cutely named Battles magazine title. It's really about Rommel at the Mews, and I forget what the WTF stands for, something to do with tanks or whatever. And so I've got that set up here. It looks pretty interesting. The map's attractive, and we can kind of go for it from there. So that's happening. I'm probably going to pack the Goss mini scenario up I'm finding that it's giving me the mechanics of movement and combat, and I already get that. I think there's some nuances with uh, mechanized movement in constricted terrain and things like that, and I'm struggling a little bit with some of the acronyms that aren't defined and some that are with that rule set, and it's a meaty rule set anyway. So what I've been doing is on Sundays, there's a group of guys, I think 8 guys, that are playing the Atlantic Wall game. I've been watching them play, and I'm waiting till they get to the supply and logistics phases of a turn, and I want to see how that all works out. So how to manage ammo and fuel and your ADV ratings and stuff like that. So that's kind of the meat of what I'm struggling with at the moment versus, say, how to do a combat. That I get that now. I don't necessarily, may not necessarily be doing it 100% correct, but I get it enough to be able to play it. So so that's that'll be packed up. The Lucky Forward module will be packed up for the time being. I am curious about playing, and then larger scenarios, and seeing the way the guys are playing strikes me as just different to how I might approach it. So even if I do a campaign, it may not necessarily be what everyone expects. All right, so I had this game from which I've played one time from Ya magazine, Donetsk, and it's set in the Ukraine, obviously enough, and it's by a guy called Ryan Kirk, and it's got an interesting little model in it. I want to revisit this. You know, the counters are okay. It's a Tiny Battles Publishing release, so you know they're kind of and the maps could be better, but I like the mechanics in this. So I'd like to give that a run, and it's a cool little tactical game as well. It's got some neat little ideas in it, so I'm going to give that a run. I'm tempted to try this other Battles magazine game away and see how that goes. Although I have heard it's very dicey, very dice heavy. So that may or may not get us excited about that. That may not last very long. Part of me is tempted to not punch it because it is somewhat of a higher value magazine. But then, hey, what the hell? Why buy it, right? I've played a Victory Complete before, and in fact, I probably didn't do it justice, so I'd like to hit it again. It uses the Victory Denied, Victory Lost system. I think this is set 1914 is Tannenberg, and it's one of my favorite World War I battles, so I'd like to give that a run again. There's some interesting ideas in this one as well. And in fact, I'm feeling this, and I'm not feeling the counters. That might just be the magazine, so we may have to find that. That could be a challenge. I've got several folders with magazine games in Ziplocs clipped into those big 3-ring binders, so I'll probably have to go through and find that. And I've also got the rules printed out, if I remember correctly. And on the back, well, that's another special ops game, Raffia. That had potential, but not so much. This one, you know, I have all of this, and I've played most of it before. Now, this is the Hobby Japan game. Look, it has foreign language, and I'm okay with that. Just in case, by the way, if you guys were curious, you know, I was trying to be tongue-in-cheek and sarcastic and ironic with my video about St. Lo, but that obviously fell off a cliff because I was also kind of disappointed. I was very disappointed, actually. But we can discuss that another time. It's curious to me that folks will jump on the bandwagon and watch my videos when I'm complaining about something or have an issue with something, or I've got some acerbic comments. You know, I've had over 1,000 views and 70 comments on that video, and it's a lot of people, you know, giving me shit about, you know, not being more patient and not being kind and being nice to people and whatever, right? A public, you know, it's not the publisher's fault, it's not the distributor's fault, it's this person's fault, or it's not anyone's fault. You should have known better. And if you actually watched the whole video, you would have known that I said it's on me for not looking at the artwork more closely and realizing that it was a full Chinese production with English rules. But you all jump on the bandwagon and have your comments, but when I have something positive to say about something, you guys don't give a shit. So this is why I don't really care what you have to say, you know, because I just do this for fun, not because I've got a monetized channel or anything like that. Nevertheless, getting back to the freaking topic, Army Group South, SPI Quad. A couple of these games are quite good. Operation Star is one that's good. Course on Pocket, yeah, it's okay. I love the maps on this, and the counter work is so much crisper and prettier. So we'll probably give that a run at some point. A boxed game for your consideration, Heart of Darkness. One of the subscribers sent this to me very kindly. I've read the rules for it. I'm curious about this, and I think it's going to be a great, narrative generator. So I'm excited about that one. And then the last thing I have here is, for the moment anyway, I've got a couple of things I want to cover, possibly. Is Twilight, I know they said Twilight struggle. Twilight 2000, 4th edition. I've developed 4 characters, written their initial activities and all this sort of good stuff. And we're going to, Charles, get those push-ups on, man. Come on, if you're late, let's go. And I'm going to try and weave a little narrative together for the 3 characters and run 3 threads. And then once I'm comfortable with the system, I may host some stuff. And I was also talking to Mo about playing with some other folks as well, and someone else would host or GM the game. So that'd be kind of cool. And as for people overreacting about saying hello, if you don't like what I've had to say, or you didn't like the game, that's cool, right? Just no need to get all bent out of shape about it. I got bent out of shape about it, and that's my choice. Anyway, let's see. We got Patrick. Well, look who is here. All right, we've got Patrick here and Tony, and no gaming here with Peter. Oh, I meant to grab. I'll be right back. All right, I meant to grab these guys. I have a little set of miniatures here. This is where I wish I had the second camera set up, which I'm trying to work on here. I've got these little mini guys that chap sent to me. They're really nicely painted too. And my opportunity here is to take these 2 armies. I can't tell you what the armies are. Some Arab dudes and some other type of force, and it's so you can play DBA, right? But it's a little mini starter army to kind of get a feel for the rule system. And he's got these guys all set up. So I might try, that takes up very little room, and so I might try and set that up with a real basic system, just to, probably won't record very much on it, but just to share, just to have an experience with it, to see what's going on. Yeah, and you reminded me, Peter, with your comment about mechanical stuff, that I had these minis here, and I've had them for nearly a year now. So I'd like to try and get them on the table and do something with them and work out, how we get them going, just to get some experience with DBA, other than what I've sort of sat and watched a game being played, but I haven't actually touched it myself. So that'd be kind of fun. So let's see. Hey, Scott, good to see you, man. Yeah, I have minis. It's kind of scary, isn't it? I'd be down for skirmish level stuff too. I would really get excited about finding a good skirmish system, which I'm yet to do. I think the Spectre rules are pretty cool. But modern skirmish would be interesting. The other thing that I think the other era I like is the Carthaginian period. So if I could find a decent set of rules, and whether that's DBA or something else, I'd be pretty interested in trying to recreate the Second Punic War in all its glory, at the kind of battle scale, I guess, so you could run campaigns and have fun stuff like that. I think that'd be cool. All right, so let's see. What else did I want to cover off on? I think Mo and Nate and I may be able to make it, Mo. I'm not sure. Like I said, I think I've got a commitment next Tuesday. We'll be doing the monthly live session, so that's something to look forward to. I'm trying to line up a couple of interviews with designers, and if you're a blogger and want to chat live to try and recruit a few folks, I'm happy to do that. Like I said, I haven't been able to do as much live video or content most recently. It's just been it would not be a pleasant experience for me nor for you to be in the environment that I'm in, trying to cover off on the details of games and bits and pieces. So I've been trying to sneak in some recording sessions here and there, so we can work that out as we go forward. And I see that Fabrizio would love to roll a character for Twilight 2000, and we could have all sorts of fun with him. Well, that might be something to try and host, and that would be my intention. Is that I would love to just host live, one or two people at a time, or two or three people at a time, and run you through the campaign that I have in my mind for the three characters, and have you interact with one of those or more, and go through the exercise. And I'm probably taking a little bit of a different tack with Twilight 2000 than the woe and misery experience that is if you read the threads on the Twilight 2000 forums on Facebook and stuff like that. It's okay, you're starving or you have 4 bullets left. I think we can do it a little bit differently and still have some fun. And yes, it's a survival game, but it's not. It shouldn't just all be about survival, right? So we'll talk about that when we get to it. Now, there's a good point. I think I saw in the comments here, Mo mentioned that next Friday, so not this Friday. Was it this Friday, Mo? Do you want to try this Friday, or do you want to do Friday week? Mo and I are going to play Indian Ocean region, the South China Sea module or whatever it is. We're going to goof around with a scenario there. I've played one scenario, and we'll kind of go for it from there and see if we can goof around. So that'd be that next Friday. Okay, you got hockey this week, so we'll do that. Now let's see. There was another comment here I wanted to address. James, yeah, I like, and they're called counters, James, not chits, but that's okay. We'll let you off this time. And I'm not painting minis, by the way, Mo. That's never going to happen. I'm still trying to find someone to paint my little 52 millimeter version of Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. Patrick, I have been watching a lot of your videos, and I recall at one point we discussed trying to get some sort of introductory or basic game of Great Campaigns of American Civil War. So I'd like to prick your ear with that to try and get in touch. And I also have, because I haven't been able to play as many games physically, I have been connecting with some folks to try and arrange some vassal sessions on particular games that I'm interested in playing, that I know that they have some expertise in. So I have failed miserably in following up with a lot of those folks. I've said, hey, in February and March, I'd be interested in catching up and playing. So that time is here, and I'll be trying to reach out to the people that I was talking to about the systems, and we'll just leave it at that, because I want to. I find that either I or the person I'm playing with often these games kind of wither away and die. So there's no point really discussing them until we got halfway through a game, or at least to a point where we can say the game's done, and we kind of go for it from there. So that way, that if I am going to record something or write something or take notes on it, it's not a total. It doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth, because I only post 2 turns. So I've been playing a number of other games with folks like Tony. We're playing DAC 2, and we're getting real close to the point where there's maybe a decision point for us to whether we keep going or not. And I think once that's made, then I'll start posting more of the DAC gameplay that we have experienced to date. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun for you guys to see that too. It's because it's a great game. All right, let me come back down to the comments. Let's see. Hockey, fistful of lead. Oh, very cool. Okay, that looks interesting, Charles. A Taino or Chechen character. Now that'd be fun. We could work you into what's that? Krakow. Because part of the campaign for BCO is that I want to get the guys to Krakow for some reasons. Okay, Patrick, that's cool. That's good to know. I would love to try and get some vassal time with you. It'd be great. All right. Okay. So look, I tell you what, I'm going to keep this short. I really wasn't on here to sort of waffle on, and I have waffled on. I just want to give you an update with the gameplay because there's been a lot of games sort of circulating through the table here, and I just have not had the ability to do my usual, what I would call my usual level of focus. And last night I was laying in bed thinking about the games I've been playing and the frustrations I'd had and the challenges I'd had and the cutting some gameplay short, making decisions about not continuing a particular scenario for a variety of reasons. And a lot of it came back to the distracted nature of the environment. And so I now empathize more with folks that live in different circumstances than I have lived in the past, where they have limited space and limited privacy and all the rest of it. So it's very challenging to stay dialed in on content. So for example, like SCS Africa, I'm really North Africa. I really enjoyed playing that. The game became very one-sided at one point once Rommel sort of hit the map, and he totally demolished the Commonwealth forces. And that was an endpoint for me because even though we were only 4 or 5 turns into the campaign, with probably 30 activations or something crazy like that, assuming we were playing relatively correctly, the game was done, right? There were almost no Commonwealth forces on the map. And so what are you going to do for the next 10 turns or 20 turns or whatever it is? So I'd like to revisit that in a smaller format with a one mapper and play a scenario out like Operation Compass or Crusader or something like that, and see how that plays out and give that system some more airtime because it really is very, very good. So cool. All right. Anyway, quick check in on Heathwell. What has he got to say? Yeah, trying to read rules and every 15 minutes being interrupted is always intensely fun, for sure. Charles is cracking the funnies. Yeah, so all right, I think that's a great place to stop, is probably right here. So I appreciate everyone checking in. Next Friday, so not this Friday, but Friday week, on Mo's channel, we'll do some naval stuff and roll some dice. In the meantime, I'm going to go do the first turn with Rommel's 7th Panzer Division on WTF 1940. We'll see if that game system holds together. Mark Herman said it's amazing, and so therefore it must be great. So we'll roll with that. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to get the comments up here, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, fellas, all the best. No idea how to stop this again. It's been a while.